Oh, is it still a great day to grow it? Well, I think things are slowing down a little bit. Chuck Renes from Renes Greenhouse joining us in studio. Things are slowing down growing-wise, but also this is the perfect time to do some other things.
Right. It's definitely changing gear time this morning. It's I went out to the greenhouse yesterday morning early, and I heard an unfamiliar sound in there that I haven't heard for a while, but the furnaces are starting to kick on on the poinsettias and stuff. So it's definitely changing.
Now, what do we need to keep an eye on before we talk about what you have in your bags over here? What do we need to keep an eye on and make sure we either bring inside or cover up?
Well, and again, you know, a lot of the stuff, especially your tropicals and things like that, the stuff that you know, comes in from Florida and stuff. You know, they're fine at 40 degrees, but when it starts getting much colder than that, you need to cover them up.
Now, what about those little mini pumpkin things?
No, they're fine.
Those things are cool?
I mean, again, there's a limit, but you know, 35 is not going to hurt them. But
okay, what do they call those? Somebody asked me that the other day. They came over and did deliver something.
It's a type of eggplant. Yeah, pumpkins on a stick is a type of eggplant. I don't really know the technical name of them. Just
pumpkins on a stick.
Vietnamese eggplant.
Yeah, Vietnamese eggplant of some sort.
Okay.
And,
they're cool. I love those things.
Yeah, and I had a lady come in the other day and got one, and she said you just take them, I guess, and slice them up a little bit and fry them, and she says they're really good if you like such a thing.
I'll give it a try.
Like eggplant, yeah.
Yeah.
Try anything once.
You got a snarl there, so I guess you're not an eggplant fan.
It's not on the burger. It's not on the menu at Burger King or McDonald's. So it's, how can it be good?
Now, my mums are looking great. All those things are looking great. What about my hibiscus tree? Is that need to make its way in?
Well, it's coming pretty close. I mean, you know, we're still good. I don't know. It's not supposed to frost here in the next week or two, is it?
No.
As long as it don't frost, it's okay.
Okay.
But and the other thing to do with stuff like that, when you bring them in, you don't want to bring a bunch of bugs and stuff in with them.
Right.
So one thing you want to do, which is a very simple, I mean, again, we have stuff you can spray them with, but what's just as good as anything is you take a tablespoon of Ivory liquid, Dawn dishwashing liquid, something like that, mix it in a little bottle of water and just spray the heck out of it. And do that a couple days before you bring it in, and that'll take care of a lot of those little critters that want to hit you right in the house.
So it's not going to hurt the plant then?
No, nope. And like I say, that's one of just as good as anything you can use to get rid of that stuff.
Okay.
And one of the other questions, I've had a couple of people ask me stuff this week. One of them was people are concerned, you know, there a week or so ago, you know, in that heat and humidity, we got a lot of powdery mildew on things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, peonies, things like that and stuff like that.
Looks white.
Yeah, just kind of white, dusty looking stuff.
Yep.
And people want to know about treating that. Well, at this stage of the game, that's pretty much going to take care of itself. The cold weather is going to wipe that out and stuff. Some people think they need to, you know, and it's fine if you want to spray it. And I had a lady that said, well, she cuts it all back, you know, and throws it away, and then sprays the plant. That's really, it's not necessary really to spray that plant because, like I say, the cold weather is going to take care of that. The other thing I would recommend though about that, if you do, I have a lot of that on my peonies and stuff out at the greenhouse. Now, when you cut those back, if you do cut those back, I would not throw that in my compost pile. I would just, if you have a compost pile, don't put it in there. Just throw it away. I'm not saying that it's going to hurt anything. I don't know if it hurt anything or not. I'm assuming that would still die in there, but I would just find another place to put that.
Be on the safe side.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And the other question I had a lot of people asking me this week was, they come in and looking for a spray or something to spray their tulip bulbs with when they plant their tulips, because they say the squirrels continually dig them up.
Oh.
And so they're looking for something. But if you plant your bulbs correctly, the squirrels won't bother. Now,
so you don't need a spray or anything.
You don't need a spray. You just need to plant these correctly. Now, correctly simply means just dig a deep enough hole. A bulb should be planted. So let's just say that's 1.5 inches. You should always plant a bulb about 4 times deeper than what it is.
4 times?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, that a tulip bulb should be planted about 8 inches deep.
Okay.
Okay, now if you plant it 8 inches deep, the squirrels ain't going to bother it.
They don't even know it's there.
Nope, they don't dig that deep, and, you know, they just dig in the top of the ground. If you're forcing tulips or something in the house, they are potted right at the top of the ground. Yeah. But that's not the way you do it outside. Those need to go in about 8 inches. So just be sure those are in plenty deep. that part goes up. Best way to plant tulips.
Is that a tulip there?
That is a tulip there. A lot of people, want to plant tulips, in a row like this or something. The best way to plant tulips is in a clump. Any of the bulbs, it's better to plant them in a nice clump like
Why?
that. Well, then you just get, rather than have, one bloom
out.
here that's going to fall over and a bloom here, tulips are on those, and they're just going to fall over and look like crap.
He's right. They look a lot better in bunches.
Yeah, so you put 3 in a thing like that, and then when they fall over, they look like crap in a bunch of 3s instead of a bunch of 1s.
Just one spot.
Yeah,
just one spot instead of 3.
Yeah, so no, they just have a better chance. They kind of grow together and will hold up better like that. But yeah, tulips, it's time. Tulips are funny. People come in the spring all the time wanting to buy tulip plants or crocus or what have you. Well, you say, well, you plant them in the fall. But this time of year, everybody's done gardening, so nobody's real interested in planting tulips.
But how long do tulips last when they come out?
Well, again, it kind of depends on the weather. I would say prime time is maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then the rest of the time they're not that great.
What's a bummer is if you get a big windstorm in the middle of that and it takes all the petals off.
And a few years ago, Anderson, I come by Anderson Erickson Dairy all the time, and they had just beautiful tulips down there one day, and it snowed. But when it snows, that time of year, it is really a wet snow.
Yeah.
And it snowed, and just, they look,
What
one
do you have
day.
here?
These are hyacinths.
You can say that's like an onion.
Yep, that's a hyacinth, and that's again the same way. But when you get these,
Pointy part up.
yep, pointy part up. Now we don't sell bulbs, so these come from Des Moines Feed over on the east side. Des Moines
sure, over
Feed
by
and
the
Nature
railroad
Center.
tracks,
Yep, good folks down there, and they got all the bulbs and stuff down there. But they'll put a little ticket in there, tells you what they are, and the main thing is to follow the directions and plant at the depth that needs to be planted, and you're going to
won't have those
you'll
extra
have
issues.
good luck with that.
I don't know about you. What I like to do is I'll just dig a big hole and put
Throw 'em all in.
tulips in there, daffodils, and you might have to throw
Yes.
some dirt in to bring the height up. But then you've
Yes.
got a big spot where you've got blooms for 6
Yes.
weeks or so.
And I'll tell you another little trick you can do if you really want to extend that out. We did it with daffodils, but what you do, because daffodils, they like to go in deep. So you dig a hole, an 8-inch hole like you'd plant a mum in.
Okay.
You dig a hole, you put these in the bottom of the hole, and then you plant your mum on top of it. So in the spring, the daffodils come up,
I'm writing this down.
where the mum
Good
is.
idea.
And then after the daffodils are gone, the mum starts coming up, and you have the mum in the fall.
You just time it out. They take turns.
Well, the daffamums or something.
It's crossbreeding over here.
Yeah, but
That's a great idea.
And we did that with, and they called them mumsettas. But years ago, it was kind of a thing that we would take a big pot and plant white mums around the outside of the pot, and then around Christmas time, you would leave a place in the middle big enough to stick a poinsettia. Then at Christmas time, you stick that poinsettia in the middle of it. You would have white mums around the outside and the poinsettia in the middle. So
Perfect.
that was a mumsettia. And that went over as big as the daffamums did. So it was.
That's a great idea. I love that idea.
But the most important thing is make sure you dig them at the
deep
right.
enough.
Make sure you follow directions, get them in deep enough.
Okay.
The other thing, real quick, we're into our last bunch of mums, which are the late bloomers, but they're starting to bloom nicely. And we got a lot of nice mums out there and pumpkins, and everything's ready to go. And it's starting to feel like fall decorating time. So
It is.
get
All right,
out there
so
and get some stuff.
People want to get out there and get some stuff. When can they get out there and get some stuff?
Yep, we're there from 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday. So come out and see us, and we'll get you fixed up with some nice stuff.
Beautiful. It is 6:53. Of course, Renes Greenhouse over in Johnson. Go visit them.